Hello and welcome to Games and Philosophy. I'm Nick Miller, also known as Breakfast Clubber, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about philosophy and what it means to me specifically. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, as I said, I'd like to discuss my own personal take on philosophy. First, let's take a look at how the dictionary defines it. Now, I don't want to bore you by reading down through this entire list of definitions. If you'd like, you can, of course, pause the video and read down through them yourself. I do, however, want to read you the ones that I feel are the most relevant both to my channel and the times in which we live. So those would include this one right here, the pursuit of wisdom. This one right here, a theory underlying or regarding a sphere of activity or thought, as in the philosophy of war. And this one right here, the most basic beliefs, concepts, and attitudes of an individual or group. Now that's all well and good, but it doesn't include something I feel is probably the most important definition. And that is the art of thinking for oneself. Now that may sound really easy, but we live in a world with instant access to information, and unfortunately, sometimes that information is going to be presented in a way that's inaccurate or misrepresented. Some of it may even be a blatant lie. With that in mind, I challenge myself every day to really think about all the information I'm ingesting, and to do that, I ask myself a few simple questions. First, do I think the source of said information is being honest in their presentation, and if so, do I consider them to be reputable? Second, do I consider this information to be morally acceptable? And lastly, do I consider this information to be helpful and or relevant to me in my life? Armed with these questions, I can relatively quickly assess any information and classify it based on its value to me. So with all that said, I'd like to leave you with a quote from one of the more well-known philosophers from history, Socrates. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. So that's one of my favorite philosophical quotes, but what about you? Do you have one that you really like? If so, throw it in the comments below. I may even feature your comments in an upcoming video. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to keep up to date on my content, be sure to tap or click the big red subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Games of Philosophy.